5 on your side at 10 starts now.
One round of snow is moving out, but we're already tracking our next system. Could arrive next week with more scattered snow showers likely. I've got your full forecast coming up.
First the snow, then the slush. Now the big concern, the expected refreeze overnight as we head into one of the busiest travel days of the year.
We are treating the roads, and we will have crews out until the roads are dry.
What you need to know if you're driving or flying out hours from now. Plus, as the temperatures plummet, the need increases as pop-up shelters provide critical relief.
Out there, we just want people to come in and have a safe space, have somewhere to be, and get the help that they need.
The urgent response helping people stay safe and warm. I'm Kelly Jackson. Robert Townsend has the night off. Good evening, everyone. Right now, there is growing concern area roads will refreeze after today's wintry weather mix. It comes hours before millions are set to hit the road or skies for one of the busiest travel days of the year. Tonight, we have team coverage to get you prepared. Mercedes McKay is live tracking road conditions, and all of that slushy snow on the side of the road will be freezing in just a matter of hours. Tonight, that is what officials are most worried about as many of you or your loved ones travel back from the Thanksgiving holiday. Mercedes McKay is tracking road conditions from downtown St. Louis after speaking with the mayor about the city's plans moving forward. So Mercedes, it's been many hours. What's it like outside right now?
Well, Kelly, I can report some good news tonight. The roads are looking fantastic. It really is a night and day difference. If many of you, just like myself, peeked out your window this morning and saw those snow-covered roads, that is not the case anymore. Across our interstates, county and city street, those roads are clear. But now the issue is that overnight and that freeze that could happen. Officials are really worried about it as their focus shifts from snow to ice. The first snowstorm of the season did just as experts anticipated, leaving snow-covered roadways and even shutting down interstates.
But those roads are going to get slick. At times, there could be slushy, they will be wet, so we need people to be careful when they're out there.
Throughout the thick of the winter weather Saturday morning, the Missouri State Highway Patrol Troop C responded to 49 stranded motorists and 67 crashes, while St. Louis police were called to 29 accidents and 27 assist motorist calls. But by early afternoon, most of the snow-covered roads were cleared across our area, something St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer was proud of.
I think we did a great job. We also had quite a bit of help from Mother Nature this round. The ground temperatures are still very warm, and of course the rain really helped. So there were several factors that really worked in our favor.
By 8 a.m., Mayor Spencer says city crews had already done 3 passes over many of the roads. But now that the snow has turned into slush, crews across the bi-state are on deck as freezing temperatures creep in overnight.
We are continuing to evaluate as we go. We have an ongoing call with our National Weather Service and our department heads to ensure that we have the workforce out to be able to keep our roads passable for our community.
And that's really going to be our biggest concern, is that refreeze. We are treating the roads, and we will have crews out until the roads are dry.
While ice can be the most treacherous on roads, since it's hard for drivers to even see, leaders want to remind folks to take their time.
My biggest message really to residents is if you don't have to get out, stay home. And if you are out, please drive slowly.
And we've been saying it for the past few days, but obviously this storm couldn't come at a worse time with so many people traveling back home for the Thanksgiving holiday. So the message really tonight from officials, if you're going out on the roads tomorrow, if you have to be out on those roads, just because they look clear does not mean they are. So make sure you're taking it slow, especially over those bridges and overpasses. Give yourself a lot of time and just be safe. Live in downtown St. Louis, Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
Okay, not only is that refreeze a concern, but more snow could be on the way. Let's check in with meteorologist Lance Blocker. You have been busy tracking what could happen on Monday.
Yeah, no kidding, Kelly. Yeah, of course, we got the refreeze here tonight. We were just talking about that. But the concern is now for Monday. We went from one winter storm to this next one won't be nearly as bad as what we're seeing right now. Radar checks out all clear at this hour. That's what we expected. Just a few isolated showers moving through portions of west central Illinois. Maybe a little bit of snow mixing in there as well. But again, overnight tonight, the big issue could be that the slushy roads could turn into some scattered ice issues. tomorrow morning. So if you head out early, you want to be careful with that. And of course, like we've said, it is a busy travel day there as well. As we look ahead to Monday, there is that chance for isolated scattered snow showers during the daytime hours, more widespread during the evening, and overnight light accumulations up to about 2 inches to the north of I-70. We'll go over that in more detail and the rest of the 7-day forecast. It's going to be chilly. I got that coming up in about 10 minutes.
And as you said, Lance, this winter storm is widespread. It also stretched across the Midwest with snow-covered roads from the Metro East to Menard County and central Illinois all the way up to Chicago. The Illinois Department of Transportation says much of the state saw nearly a foot of snow.
Across our entire state, we think we'll see somewhere between 8 to 12 inches before it's done on average around the state, and it's going to go through Sunday. So really, we're entering the thick of it right now, and that is of our most concern. So if you don't have to travel, please don't, and stay home or stay with friends if you can. But if you do have to travel, we want you to take it easy.
And we are just hours away from one of the busiest air travel days of the year. Here's a live look at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. TSA officials estimate nearly 23,000 people will go through security checkpoints there tomorrow. But that number could be impacted by dozens of flights being canceled or delayed nationwide. Many people flying out of Lambert today were headed to or from Chicago, where the snow has greatly impacted both airports. Today, more than 1,300 flights were canceled at both O'Hare and Midway airports due to the weather. FlightAware.com says 1,100 of those cancellations were out of O'Hare alone. That represents about 82% of the total flights scheduled at the airport today. They say delays were averaging about 67 minutes. This winter storm is a reminder that not everyone in our community has a warm, safe place to stay, and that's why it is important for those in need to seek shelter. In fact, the need is so great, Peter and Paul Community Services added a third emergency pop-up shelter today. It's in coordination with the city of St. Louis's Code Blue and how the city responds to extreme cold weather and to work swiftly to get people out of the cold. The new location at Garfield Place in South City has space for about 30 people. The additional shelter capacity is needed not only for today's storm, but also for those still impacted by the May 16th tornado.
I just think it's really important for folks to know that these shelters are available. It's a safe place to come inside. Whether you're a family, we have private spaces for families, or you're an individual, there's also facilities for individuals. And so when it gets this cold and those extreme elements are out there, we just want people to come in and have a safe space, have somewhere to be, and get the help that they need.
The shelters include Peter and Paul Jugan Shelter on North Florissant Avenue, the Biddle Housing Opportunity Center off North 13th Street, and Peter and Paul Shelter on Sydney Street. And to find a shelter in the city near you, call United Way at 211. And for a list of local warming shelters, visit KSDK.com. Look for the article in the As Seen on TV section. Small business owners are counting on this day to boost holiday sales.
We kind of treat our small business Saturday like our Black Friday.
But Mother Nature had other plans.
We're basically becoming obsolete.
Plus, some of our favorite snow moments sent to us from across the bi-state.
The winter snow season is off to a fast start. We got another round of snow on the way. I've got your forecast on the way too, coming up next.
Right now, a man is behind bars after a double shooting and hostage situation in Cahokia Heights that left one person dead. Police say it happened the night before Thanksgiving. Officers found a woman hiding behind a car on Peugeot Avenue who'd been shot. Police believe Jerome Curry shot her and also shot and killed his brother. Curry was later found by Shiloh police holding a family hostage at a home on Birmingham Drive. Multiple law enforcement agencies surrounded the home until Curry released the hostages and surrendered. He's facing charges for 8 crimes in Cahokia Heights and for unlawful restraint in Shiloh. Tonight, St. Louis police say a pedestrian hit by a car earlier this week has died. The crash happened just before 11 Wednesday night on Gravois. The victim was a 58-year-old man. He died at the hospital. Police have not released his identity. The driver stayed at the scene and is cooperating with investigators. It is Small Business Saturday. It's a yearly push to encourage shoppers to support local businesses the day after Black Friday. But because of today's snow, area businesses say sales have been slow this year. Tiana and Andre Tunstall own Lux, a boutique not far from Midtown. They say Small Business Saturday is usually their version of Black Friday, but only a few customers stop by this year, and they tell us days like today are important to small businesses because it means shoppers are supporting their community.
Small businesses are the face of the community, right? So it's easy to shop online and it's easy to go to the big box stores, but what happens when all of the small businesses are gone because people didn't support? And then when you need that last minute thing, it can't come in time. You can order it, it's not gonna be there as fast as you can just go to your local store, right? So I think it's important to keep stores like ours and others in the community because we're basically becoming obsolete.
The Tunstalls say they expect a boost in business during the holiday season. Some small businesses got a boost in Florissant this afternoon. The annual Miracle on St. Francis Street kicked off at City Hall and Old St. Ferdinand Shrine. There was a jingle run for kids, historic tours, live music, and even a visit from Old St. Nick. Small businesses were highlighted and booths all around the event. A shuttle took people between City Hall, the Shrine, and several stops around Old Town. Proceeds from the event go right back into the community.
We do this to help support our not-for-profits, Valley of Flowers, Florissant Old Town Partners, and Old St. Ferdinand Shrine.
And because of the weather, this year's golf cart parade had to be canceled. They did continue with the tree lighting ceremony outside City Hall. The event has been a holiday tradition since 2021.
And our big winter storm is pushing out of the region. It left behind over 8 inches of snow for a few locations. I've got your snowfall totals and what we expect from Monday's system coming up.
Well, many of you did have fun in today's snow, like this video showing the journey of this snowy hill with this four-legged friend before taking a nice sled ride down. A huge thanks to Brianna for sending this video to us. And we have more pups in the snow. Just look at this dynamic dog duo. A shout out to Carrie in Caseyville for sharing this video of these two happy dogs. And we'd love to see more of your snow photos or videos. All you have to do is text them to 314-425-5355 for a chance to see them on the air. Let's check in again with meteorologist Lance Blocker with a closer look at our weather impact forecast. We're still in a weather impact alert. Concern about tonight into tomorrow with all the people on the road and flying, and also into Monday.
Yeah, no doubt. We've got a lot of moisture still left over on the roadways. Temperatures tonight, they're going to dive into the low 20s across portions of the region. That, of course, could lead to some scattered ice issues. As we take a look there at the arch, looking good, and a lot of crows flying around right now on this Saturday evening for us. And Bo loves the snow. We just showed you a few dogs out playing in the snow. Here's one more. Bo went out there, enjoyed the snow today. A lot of dogs out there enjoying the snow. These are our favorite pictures. We know they're probably yours too because the animals love the snow. Let's go and check out. This is another one of my favorites right here. This looks like a scene out of a magazine. Look at that. A nice picture there from Jeff. Thank you for sending that in there in Highland. Got some good snow there. Got a lot of good snow really across much of the area. And you know, we're still in a moderate drought. And this is actually, snow is a beautiful thing for drought because it slowly seeps back into the ground. So that's a good thing. There's not much wash off associated with that. So that'll help with some of our moisture content in the topsoil. So that's always a good thing. 4 to 6 inches to the north, even as far south as through St. Louis here. And then as we look down towards Farmington, about an inch or so down to the south. A lot of that really melted off when the heavier rain moved in. Locally higher amounts too, a few of those locations topping out around 8 inches of snow. Edwardsville, 8.5 inches of snow. Spanish Lake, over 7 inches of snow. St. Charles, we had a lot of viewers sending in about 6 to 6.5 inches of snow. Snowfall totals in the next system will be much lighter. That's going to arrive on Monday. And again, we're in that weather impact alert for us tomorrow, mainly during the morning hours because of that potential for refreezing. And of course, with it being that Sunday, we've talked about this, so many cars out there, take it easy. But again, we'll see a few more scattered showers, snow showers that is, as we move through the day on Monday, becoming more widespread during the late evening and overnight hours. And then we finally warm back up to above freezing, 33 degrees for us on Tuesday, low 40s for Wednesday, but looking more specifically ahead to when that snow arrives on Monday. Again, we start out quiet snow-wise. There's no chance of snow in the morning hours, but then that increases through the late afternoon, really becoming more widespread during the late evening and overnight. You can see most of the region here, according to this forecast model, showing it with at least a little bit of snow. We're thinking snowfall totals at this point will range between 1 inch to 2 inches on the high end. Most locations right around ½ an inch of snow. So again, for us over the next few days, we've got tomorrow morning with that potential with the refreeze, and then Monday with the up to 2 inches of snow. Probably going to be the highest amounts along and north of I-70 in Missouri, northwest side there, and then lower amounts down, of course, the further south that you go. But you know, this past system, the thing we were worried about was with temperatures. So we saw a lot of mixed precipitation that ate into the snowfall totals. With this system, we're not expecting that. We're just expecting light snow. Won't be any freezing rain or sleet involved. We don't think.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, thanks, Lance. Here's Corey with sports.
Well, the Blues spent their snow day trying to go back-to-back at Enterprise Center. Mizzou tried to continue its dominance of its rival to the south, and Illinois braved a frozen Champaign to finish their regular season. Sports is up after the break. Friday's win over Ottawa was great. The Blues showed up in the third period and took care of business. But now comes the tricky part, trying to carry that spark into tonight's contest against Utah. Even despite the snowy weather outside, the Blues were intent on keeping that spark lit. The Blues started tonight with a moment of silence for Brian Keller, the father of Utah captain and St. Louis native Clayton Keller, who recently passed unexpectedly, as well as a celebration of Blues defenseman Justin Falk's 1,000 games in the NHL. We were scoreless until just under 2 minutes left in the second period when the Offer Sheet boys team up. Philip Broberg drops it off to Dylan Holloway. Holloway snipes it in the back of the net. 1-0 Blues. That would be the only goal of the night. Joel Hofer stood strong, stopping all 18 shots he faced. Pavel Buchnevich had a diving clear with time winding down, and the Blues win 1-0 for victories in back-to-back nights at Enterprise Center. Well, if Mizzou and Arkansas is really a rivalry, it's become a pretty one-sided rivalry. The Tigers have claimed the Battle Line Trophy the past 3 years and are 9-2 against the Hogs since joining the SEC coming into tonight's regular season finale. Bo Pribula and company trying to end the regular season with an 8-4 record. They had a good start. Mizzou rolled right down the field to open the game as Jamal Roberts waltzes in on the direct snap. 7-0 Mizzou. Roberts had 100 yards rushing. Arkansas up 17-14, but then Ahmad Hardy happened. You may think you have him down, but you never really do. Hardy goes from wrapped up to a 53-yard touchdown run to give Mizzou the lead. He really is incredible. 157 yards on the ground for Hardy today. We saw this a number of times at St. Mary's High School, but now he does it as a Tiger. Kevin Coleman on the punt return, and he's going to take it all the way to the house. What a play from the St. Louis kid to pad Mizzou's lead. They win their 4th straight Battle Line Trophy, 31-17 over Arkansas, and finish the regular season 8-4. Coach, your thoughts on the regular season?
I think it's a good season. You know, it's not great. We had a chance to go to great. We didn't get it done. And as a team, as an organization, as everybody, you know, we've got to find those inches. And it starts with me, and then it trickles down to everybody.
Snow game in Champaign. Brett Bielema and his Illini all bundled up to wrap up their regular season against Northwestern. Illinois down 3-0 early when Khalil Valentine gets the carry. He's going to scamper through the snow and into the end zone. 7-3 Illinois. Northwestern got the lead back, but then right before the half, Caden Fagan goes up and over for another score, 14-10 Illini. The defense stepped up in the second half, and Miles Scott had a final home game to remember. He makes 2 clutch interceptions down the stretch to claim the Land of Lincoln Trophy, and 20-13 win for the Illini as they also finish the regular season 8-4. It will be a Sweet 16 Sunday for SLU soccer tomorrow. The Billikens will take on Bryant in Rhode Island for a trip to the Elite Eight. It's been quite a run so far for SLU. First they beat Kentucky in double overtime, and then last week they beat perennial powerhouse Indiana in Indiana. Coach Kalish knows his team is ready for anything.
This group has continued to rise to any and every challenge that we've had, whether it's being down a man, needing a goal, scoring, coming back from 2-0. And we just had so many scenarios throughout the year that has really prepared us well for the postseason. So there's not going to be anything that we haven't seen yet and that we haven't been able to respond from.
High school football playoffs today. Live for Life across the state facing St. Michael Archangel and KC, and the Hawks came to play. Phoenix Isaiah swings it out to Akelian Henderson. He does the rest. That's a 58-yard touchdown that made it 28-0 Live for Life. Later on, Javian Scott makes the defense miss as he runs his way to a 35-yard touchdown. Live for Life rolls to the Class 3 state championship game with a 48-28 victory on the road. Other high school football playoff updates. The season ends for Cardinal Ritter, Pattonville, and Festus today, and a few games have some new dates because of the weather. St. Mary's will face Hannibal tomorrow, and East St. Louis will now play for a state title on Tuesday. That will do it for sports.
All right, thanks so much, Corey, and thanks so much for joining us. Saturday Night Live is next, and be sure to join us tomorrow morning at 6, the very latest weather impact forecast on Today in St. Louis. Have a great evening and be safe.